Hi, this is Quintella with Better Homes and Gardens, and today I will be doing a presentation on Zoom in to transfer deed upon death, TOD, and how to fill out the forms. So I thought this was really important because I am a certified probate real estate specialist, and a lot of times people go through probate unnecessarily. So this is a form in which you can avoid probate. It's really simple. It's just 3 forms. Believe it or not, it's so simple. So I'm just going to go over this with you. First, I have to give you my disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. This video is for informational purposes only. You should always seek legal advice if you have questions about the way your title is held or about the transfer of your property. You can get a legal description from your local county recorder's office. I'm telling you that because you're going to need one. There may be some variations depending on how title is held. For example, if you're married, you can only transfer 50% of your interest in the property to a beneficiary. So basically, if you are married or the property is hold joint and you have an interest in it, you can only add a beneficiary for your interest. You can't assign someone else's interest to your beneficiary. If the property is your sold and separate property, then you can transfer 100% of it to a TOD if you're married. So if you're married, but the property is held as your sole and separate, then that means you own 100%. That means that you can transfer 100%. Okay. Where did this deed come from? Because I know a lot of people haven't heard about it. So this bill, it was AB 139, signed in September of 2015, which became effective January 1, 2016. So it's been around for about 4 years. And what this deed does is it adds beneficiary to it. So you don't have to do a will, you don't have to do a living trust, you don't have to do anything because the deed records the beneficiary. So so I'll just read this to you. The bill would until January 1st, 2021 create the revocable trust of a death deed as defined, which would transfer real property on the death of its owner without a probate proceeding. So this deed allows you to transfer the property without a probate proceeding. Why use the transfer deed upon death? Why? No probate. That's obvious. No probate. No cost to have a will prepared, and no disagreements with family members. Perhaps it could always be issues come up. No living trust, so you don't have to do a living trust. Avoid probate. No cost. The thing with the TOD, it only puts the property in the TOD, so it's not like a trust where everything is in there. You might have other assets besides a property. So this only deals with the property only. So this is probably for someone that doesn't have a lot of assets. So like if you had an insurance policy, the insurance policy would name who the beneficiary is. If you have a bank account, you would fill out a beneficiary form at the bank, and the bank would have that. So this is for someone that doesn't have a whole lot of issues. Whole lot of assets. Basically, you just want to put your house. You want to name the beneficiary, so when you die, no one has to go through probate. The process again is real simple. Why use the TOD? Because you get to avoid probate. It's low cost, no fraud from beneficiaries. So if you have this done while you're alive, you don't have to worry about the issues that come up with probate, saying the will is fraudulent or that's not the right will or somebody created a will after the death. The same thing with the living trust. The living trust was lost, you end up in probate. With the TOD, was the great thing about this, I love this document because with the TOD, it names the beneficiary in the deed. So there's no way to say that this is not the correct beneficiary unless somebody forced the owner of the house to fill out this form in front of a notary and recorded it. But, all right. So let's go to the next topic. Transfer deed upon death forms. Okay, so again, there's only 3 forms for this whole entire process. I mean, this process is so easy. 3 forms. So form number 1 is the actual simple revocable transfer on deed, on death deed. And then the second one, the second form is a revocation form. So like, say for example, you decide, I named my daughter the beneficiary and I want to change it to my son, or I gave both of them and I want to take one off of them, take one off and just leave it to one person. You can change your TOD whenever you want to by revocation. And then after the person dies, the affidavit of death of transfer of deed upon death. So it's just 3 forms. 1 form to put the property in a TOD, 1 form if you want to revoke the person that's the beneficiary and change it to another one. And number 3, the affidavit of TOD when that person dies, to transfer the property into your name. It's just that simple. Okay, so simple revocable transfer on death TOD deed. Download, I'm giving you the information right here where you can download it. Download a blank simple revocable transfer on death TOD deed form from our website. So you can get this form on the sacramento-org/WP-content/upload/form-deed.rtf. So the Sacramento County Law Library, they have the greatest forms information. So if you don't have a current copy of your deed, you can purchase one from your local recorder's office. So say for example, I live in Contra Costa County. If I was doing a TOD and I didn't have my current deed, I would just go over to Contra Costa County recorder's office and just pay for a copy of the deed so I could have all the information. Same thing if I lived in Oakland, that would be Alameda County. Sacramento, that would be Sacramento County. Whatever county the property is held in, that's the county recorder's office that you're going to go to get this, to get your prior deed if you don't have a copy of it. But most people, once the deed is recorded, when you purchase the house, the title company records it and it comes to you. So you should have a copy of it. Make sure you are looking at the deed, which gives you ownership of the property. Look for a name like grant deed, quitclaim deed, interspousal deed, corporation deed, transfer deed. Ignore any deed of trust. This is related to the mortgage on your property. It will not have all the information you need. So you're looking for the deed that you signed when you purchased the property. This will have all the information that you need to create this simple revocable transfer on death deed. Now, here is a sample of what it looks like, the transfer of death TOD deed. So right here at the top left-hand corner, recording requested by, you're going to insert your name here, and then where it says, and when recorded, mail this deed and tax statement to the name. You're going to put your name up here, your address, the city, the state, and then the zip code. Simple revocable transfer on death deed right here. You can see my arrow moving back and forth, my cursor. You're going to insert the assessor parcel number, APN number. If you can't find that number, or just for some odd reason it didn't show up on your deed that you had recorded, which I doubt it very seriously, you could always go online to the assessor's office and get this information. It usually comes with your tax bill, so you can get that. And then if you see where it says in this box, notice this deed must be recorded on or before 60 days after the date it is signed and notarized. Okay, so it has to be done within 60 days of signing. You can't do this, prepare this document, have it notarized, and then a year later record it. They're going to reject it. See underneath that where it says, and I got my cursor going back and forth, where it says property description, print the legal description of the residential property affected by this deed. Enter the exact legal description of the property as shown on the current deed. So your current deed will have the exact description. Here's a sample of what a description would look like. If there's not enough space in this document, then you would use what they call Exhibit A. So there would be a separate document, Exhibit A, and you would attach it to this simple revocable transfer on death deed. And then see how this is different than most deeds. You see where it says beneficiaries? All right, you're gonna fill in the name of the beneficiaries. You see where it says list the beneficiaries in relationship to you. Don't add anything other than what is required. So you see where it says Dora sample, comma, my daughter, and Paul sample, my son. You don't have to put this person gets 50%, this person gets 50%. If it's two people, they know. One person gets 50%, the other person gets 50%. If it's three people, they know each person gets 1/3. So I, the person that's the owner, Sarah Sample, transfer all of my interest in the described property to the named beneficiaries on my death. I may revoke this deed when recorded. This deed revokes any basically prior deeds to this. You see it's signed November 12th, 2016. You're going to add that person's name. If you could not fit everything of the description of the property in here where you see my cursor going back and forth on this video, then you're going to attach an Exhibit A to the back of this. You cannot record this document without an Exhibit A legal description. If there is no legal description on this document, the county recorder's office will kick it back. So you got to make sure you put a legal description on here. Transfer deed upon death. So here's the second form. This is form number 2, revoking a TOD. So you have the right to revoke the TOD deed at any time for any reason. You don't have to give anybody any reason. You don't have to give anybody an explanation. I don't want you to be my beneficiary anymore. You have a right to change your mind. You will need the form Revocation of Revocable Transfer on Death, TOD. So the beneficiary is not written in stone. You can change the beneficiary at any given time, revoke that beneficiary, and just do another TOD deed, and then it'll have the new person. So you can go download this document, Revocation of Revocable Transfer on Deed, TOD form from your the website sacramentolaw.org/WP content upload/form -revocation TOD deeds.rtf. You can go there and get this document. You can Google for revoking a TOD in any form. It'll come up. You'll see it. So just make sure that it looks like the form that is going to be in this example that I'm going to show you shortly. So you will need a copy of the TOD that you recorded. So when you initially prepared your TOD and you recorded it and you named the beneficiary, now that you want to revoke it, you're going to need the TOD that you originally filed so you can fill in the revocation, because the revocation has questions on it. So you're going to need the assessor's parcel number, the legal description, the name as spelled on the TOD deed, the date you signed the TOD deed, the date you recorded the TOD deed, and the book, reel, and page number. It's just like any other deed. You got to have this information. Name of beneficiaries you intended heirs, and their relationship to you as written on your TOD. So this would have been on the first document that you filed, the one that we first went over. Now, here is the sample of the Revocation of Revocable Transfer on Death, TOD. So you're saying, when you're filling out this form, you're saying the person that I initially named as a beneficiary, I'm revoking them. I don't want that person to be my beneficiary. You're taking them out. You might not, you want to replace somebody else with that person. So the same thing here. You're going to put your name up here at the top left-hand corner where it says requested by. You're putting the homeowner, you're going to put your name. And when recorded, you want it to come back to you. So You're going to put your name, your address, the city and the state and the zip code. And then when you record it, it's going to come back to you. So you see where it says, I got my cursor going back and forth, around and around, revocation of revocable transfer on death deed. You're going to fill in the assessor parcel number, APN number, right there. You'll write that in. And again, if you can't find this, you can always find your APN number with the assessor's office. Property description, you're going to go down here and see where it says print the legal description of the property affected by this revocation. See Exhibit A. If the box that's there is not enough room to fill in the legal description, then what you need to do is just type an Exhibit A at the top on a separate form, separate piece of paper, and then insert that information, and you're going to attach it to the back of this form. If you don't include an Exhibit A or a legal description of the property, the county recorder's office will reject it. It must be completely filled out. So then you go down here, here's the revocation language. It says, I, and this is just a sample, Sarah Sample, am the transferor under the revoke, I can't get my words out right now, sorry, revocable TOD dated. So this is when you first recorded it. The first one you did, you're telling the county recorder's office what day it was recorded, what date it was dated, what day it was recorded, the instrument number, and that'll be on the document in the right hand corner. Once it's recorded, it's usually like a little label or a little seal that you'll see at the right top hand corner of deeds. And then the county California, which is named in the beneficiaries, is going to show the name of the beneficiaries. And so in this sample, it's called Dora Sample, my daughter, and Samuel Sample, my son. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I hereby revoke any TOD deed to transfer the described property that I executed before executing this form, including the revocable TOD deed described above. You're going to sign and date it, and then it gets recorded. All right. That's how you remove a beneficiary that you don't want on there no more. And you can replace it with the new one. You can always replace it. But this one, this form right here, revocation of revocable transfer on death deed, gives you the right to remove a beneficiary. You change your mind, who you want to leave your house to. Now, here's the third form that is in this process. And this form is how you clear title. How when the person dies, how do I get the house put in my name? Clearing title after the owner, transferor, dies. This is what you do. After the owner passes away, the beneficiary or beneficiaries notarize and record a simple form called Affidavit of Death of Transferor under TOD, along with a certified copy of the death certificate. So this is just like if you, with anything else, when a person dies, you have to do an affidavit of death and attach the death certificate. This is the same process, except this form is only used if you have a TOD. You can download the Affidavit of Death of Transferor under TOD at the website sacramento.org/WP-content upload/form-affidavit-death at TOD.RTF. This is where you can get this document from. Or you can just Google. Okay, so let's take a look at what the transfer on death TOD affidavit looks like. And it's just like a regular affidavit, except you have this title that's just worded affidavit -death of transferor revocable TOD deed. It's just like any other one. Don't look into it too much. Don't stress yourself out about it. It's just the regular process. It's just got a different name because it's for TOD. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we would do when we fill out these forms prior. Recording requested by, you're going to put the name, Dora Sample, And when recorded, mail the deed and tax statement to door sample, put the address, put the zip code. And then I'm going to read this to you. Door sample of legal age being first duly sworn deposes and says, Sarah sample, the decedent means the dead person. So that's the word decedent means who's the person that passed away. Mentioned in the attached certified copy of the certificate of death is the person, the same persons as Sarah sample, the transfer under the revocable transfer on death deed dated November the 12th, 2015, and recorded on November 12th, 2015. You see what that little star is? There's going to be an instrument number. The reason why they got a star there is because this is a sample and there is no instrument number to insert. And there may not be an instrument number. If it's not one, you're going to leave it blank. You're going to fill in the information that the county recorder recorded, so you can put this in here. You're going to put the book or real number, the page or image number of official records of. So if this sample is for Sacramento, if you live in like for me, I live in Contra Costa, so mine would say Contra Costa County. If you live in Alameda, it would say Alameda County. If you live in Santa Clara County, it would say Santa Clara County. Whatever county the property is held in, that's what this word says Sacramento, that's where you're going to fill in the name of your county. So Sacramento County, California, which named as beneficiaries Dora Sample, her daughter, and Samuel Sample, her son. Now, and which transferred the following described property situated in Sacramento County, California. Again, here we go with that legal description down here. You have to insert the legal description. If it's too big and it can't fit there, you got to get a separate piece of paper and just type at the top, Exhibit A, legal description, and then you insert the legal description there and you attach it to the back of this document. And you have to date it, sign it, Dora Smith. It's going to get recorded with the county recorder's office, and bam, bada boom, you own the house. Title is clear, okay? That's it, that's all. It's nothing else you need to do. You are officially the owner now, once this document is recorded. See how simple that is? No probate, no living trust, no stress, no nothing. And you can't say, I lost the will. You can't say, I don't know where the trust is. None of that, because the deed names the beneficiary. There's no way of getting around it. Thank you for watching my presentation on transfer deed upon death. I love this form. I'm glad that the law was passed, this bill that was passed, because this is a very simple process. They have it in a lot of other states. Some states call it ladybird deed. They have this process pretty much in every other state. We were slow to get it because it's so much fraud in California. Again, this is Agent Q with Better Homes and Gardens, Royal and Associates. My cell number is 510-295-9298. My email address is agentqrealtor@gmail.com. You can book an appointment online with me if you want to talk. I have 60-minute bookings, 30-minute bookings, and 15-minute bookings. Go to https://calendly.com/agentqrealtor-1. It'll give you access to one of my mini calendars that you can book an appointment